Hello, welcome, and good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday night, and we're still here with you from Flat Out Racing North America. We have yet another fantastic 25 lap race around Alsace Village for round two of our premier GT3 racing series here. Corey, let's go THG, Tron, and now for my favorite division, the Pro Am. Welcome in, everybody. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, and of course, proudly sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing, ladies and gentlemen. So, up in front of us, of course, is our Pro AM1 lobby. We have one more division yet for you guys tomorrow night. That'll be our Pro Am2 lobby. And then we get a couple day break. I know, right? A couple days where we don't have that great action. That's all right. It'll be back on Saturday with our AM division live for round 3 at Blue Moon Infield A. But the focus here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is on our Pro Am 1 lobby. So let's go over our drivers list here. We have M. Morin, we have OBR Raylander, we have D. Walters, we have Stack and Yak, we have Amos McCall, Indio, Egon, Apex's Larry Birch, Smoke'em Holt, Apex's Superman, JL Salas, THG, Sticky Bandit, S. Haley, and EOR. So you might recognize one of those names in the division. One of our drivers was bumped up into the Pro-Am division after the amateur race on Saturday due to pace, and they moved him up into a faster paced lobby. So a couple of drivers being bumped up out of the AM division in their first races just due to their race pace being much quicker than their qualifying pace, and best always to do it right at the beginning of the season. So we are going to see what Haley has for our Pro-Am 1 guys here today as well. We've seen him with a very good race in the AM division. So a little bit of interesting things going down here at Flat Out Racing North America, but of course the best interest of the league is to try and keep the drivers as equally paced as possible so the competition stays right and tight, ladies and gentlemen. So Pro-Am lobby, 3 times tire, 4 times fuel. Strategies? It's going to be hard to say in this one. I mean, the BRZ is quite a bit of a different car than what we're seeing from our AM drivers in the Mercedes, our elite guys in the GTRs, and of course our pro drivers in the Jaguars. Those 3 cars typically a little bit harder on fuel than the BRZ is. However, it depends how you drive that Subaru BRZ. So with that being said, I mean, the 2 most feasible strategies here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be a 1-stop and a 2-stop strategy. Now, Alsace Village is very, very tough on the tires, but I strongly feel that the Subaru here in round 2 is probably the strongest suited car for the racetrack that these drivers are having to contend with for this round. So it's going to be interesting to see what these Subarus are going to do around the racetrack here. But a one-stop strategy would result to about a 14 to 15 lap medium tire stint and a shortened version with soft tires. Of course, both compounds of tires are required throughout these races all season long, the mediums and the soft tires. So the drivers are going to have to make a pit stop. However, it is not mandated when they make that pit stop, and there is no pit window. These drivers can literally pit at the end of lap 1 if they opt to and change to a different tire. That's entirely on them and their strategy coming into each and every single round here as we progress through our 10-week championship series here. So it's been an interesting series so far. We've had 10 races happen, 11 with the race off, I guess, for the Elite Series final 2 positions the week before the season started, and it has been an absolutely fantastic set of racing put on by all the divisions throughout top to bottom here at Flat Out Racing North America. I can't say that one division is better than the other as far as what we're seeing here on a nightly basis live on the pages. And of course, welcome to all our viewers here at GT45 Gaming's Facebook and YouTube channel, and of course welcome over on the Flat Out Racing North American YouTube as well to anybody who is chilling and hanging out watching us from over there. We got Scott Arthur coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, brother. Hope you're doing fantastic, my dude. But I know you're all like, come on man, just flip that screen over, let's get to the race, we're stalling. We're building the suspense for all you amazing viewers, but we are definitely going to flip over and we're going to start to look through our grid. So with that being said, let's transition over into our live scenes here, and you can see that beautiful race banner there. No sneak peeks of what these guys are using. 4 tire compounds before this race starts, ladies and gentlemen. Now these drivers had a 10-minute qualifying run, and they had to get the absolute best time they could on the racetrack within that 10-minute qualifier. On this racetrack, it is about 5 laps. So these drivers had an out lap, and if they didn't stop for another set of tires, they had 4 hot laps. If you stopped for a set of tires, you had 2 out laps and 3 hot laps, essentially, to qualify around Alsace Village here this weekend. So this is our running order for our Pro AM1 lobby for round 2 at Alsace Village, ladies and gentlemen. You can see this THG Sticky Bandit sitting on pole position here. Bonus point for this gentleman. Always a great way to start the race with a point in pocket. We have OBR Raylander in second place, and unfortunately that livery is hiding behind our pole sitter there, but we will most certainly get to see a whole bunch of him as this race progresses here tonight. We have S. Haley here as well in third place, again coming up from AM Division, qualifying quite well. Apex's Larry Birch, who did finish on the podium as well as Sticky Bandit last week, coming in fourth place here. We have D. Walters qualifying in fifth. JL Salas, or Salas, I'm not sure which way to pronounce it. I'm sure if they're watching they will help me out with that. In sixth place, we have Indio here in seventh place. We've got Smoke'em Holt in eighth. We've got EOR in ninth place. We've got Morin in 10th. We've got Egon in 11th. We've got Stack and Yak in 12th place. And Apex Racing Superman rounding out this very strong Pro AM1 field here tonight. So, are you guys ready? Ladies, gentlemen, kitties, doggies? Nah, I play. Are we ready for some racing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen? I know I am ready for some racing. We've been looking forward to these races all day long, every day before these broadcasts go live. And here we are. The buzz in the Discord is fantastic. The grandstands are full. The crowd is cheering very loudly here at Alsace Village, as of course our French compadres over there in France can get a little bit rowdy at times, but we love the absolute fantastic vibe here at the racetrack. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, kick them tires, light them fires. Let's get racing. Oh, hold on, I'm not ready to push the right button. Now I'm ready. All right, so 1 red, ladies and gentlemen, 2 reds, 3 reds, 4 reds, game audio on, and it's time to go racing. We're waiting for the green, and we are green. Very early light here, and you can see Sticky Bandit getting a very early jump out on the race lead here. So we are going to now continue on down the racetrack. OBR Raylander in second. We're going to go through the field. Apex Larry Birch in third place. Haley dropping down to fourth. We got Walter still in fifth. We got Smoke'em Holt here in sixth place. We've got Moore moving up into seventh now. EOR into eighth. Look at these guys, 3 wide as we're coming into the sweeper. A couple guys going to sort out too, double side here, and boy oh boy, these guys are absolutely off like a shot. A little bit of lag here on the track from one of the drivers here. Oh, and we have some contact there, and one driver off the racetrack. Super unfortunate there. Ooh, Apex Superman just about getting caught up in that there as he just gets that car collected underneath of him, just getting through. Stack and Yak here in 11th place. Salas, one of the drivers, collected up there with Smoke'em Holt. So both these drivers have a little bit of work to do very early on in the race here, but the race continues, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 1 of 25 in our Pro AM1 division here. So Sticky Bandit still in lead with Raylander chasing. Haley in third place and looking very racy here again tonight in this car. Not a lot of time to transition here for him. Larry Birch in fourth place with Walter still in fifth chasing. And we're just looking for some quick early battles here. We've seen a little bit of chaos there to come up through the mid part of the racetrack there, but it looks like all the drivers are sorted out in their positions here. EOR all over the back end of Walters here, and he is going to not find a way around here, taking a wide entry, maybe looking for a cutback, and there it is, cutback coming, but that's going to put him on the outside coming into the next corner. Not the ideal position, but to see if he can cut back again, and he does look for the cutback. So 2 cutback maneuvers in a row, ladies and gentlemen, and we're side by side as we come down the hill between EOR and Walters. And note, Walters going to be like, that's all right, mate, you can have it, man. I'm just going to tuck in behind here and I'll wait for my opportunity to do the same thing back. So EOR in 5th place with Walters in 6th. Of course, fourth. Both drivers representing Flying Fox Racing here, so also a little bit of teamwork happening there too, not to lose too much time on the guys in front. Indio in 7th place. Egon here in 8th. We have Morin in 9th place with Superman here now up into 10th place, starting on the back of the pack here, gaining some positions. We have Stack and Yak in 11th place here with a nice shiny blue livery on track, clean, simple looking styling on the track here, and J. Alsace in 12th, and of course Smoke 'em Hold here after a little bit of an incident there. He's going to off the pit, take some tires, take some fuel, probably fix that damage, and he's going to be back out on the racetrack. So Raylander is now in the race lead here, so 2 race leaders very early on in our race here. We're on lap 2 of 25. We've already seen 2 different drivers leading this race here tonight, and Raylander is that second driver here now currently leading our Pro AM1 division here. Would you quick stop doing that game? Sorry, I'm having some button issues with my controller at the moment here. Sticky Bandit here in 2nd place, and he is just right there. He is not letting Raylander go anywhere. He's like, oh no mate, this battle ain't done yet, friend. We are going to continue this here in just a few moments. And then we have Haley right in behind, starting to close in, sitting there patiently just behind these guys as well. Larry Birch in 4th place here, and he is just a little bit off these guys, just a little over a second here, and he has EOR in tow. So EOR very quickly making some moves up the racetrack here, and he's going to look for a cutback on Larry now. No, Larry getting a great exit there, closing that cutback attempt off. Indio here now in 6th place. Battle between him and Walters for position here. Walters back moving into 6th again. He's just got the run here as we come back up the hill, and these guys go side by side. No, it does look like Indio's just going to sit back here as we come down into this very difficult chicane sector. Very hard sector to go 2 by 2, and you can see Egon really closing up on Indio there up in front. So good for Egon here as he is now trying to close up into the field as well. Again, Egon, who we're just talking about there, he is in 8th place, and he's just on the back end of these 2 cars here. So potential battle brewing there for 8th, 7th, and 6th place. We have Superman here now just catching up to these guys, moved up another position into 9th. Stack and Yak here in 10th place with Salas in 11th, and Morin here now in 12th place. So maybe making a mistake or something happening on the racetrack, dropping all the way down in behind Salas here. And Smoke 'em Holt now just coming down this final sector here. We did see him make an early pit stop there due to that early incident on the racetrack. So much like every single division so far this week, we've seen that one driver make that early mistake and have to make the chase back up through the pack. So let's see if he has what ATK's Cheater Tom in the Pro division last night had, and come all the way from the back of the pack to win the race. Let's see what he can do. Sticky Bandit still jumps back into the lead, taking the lead back over from Raylander. So these 2 drivers having a beauty little battle here for 1st and 2nd place very early on in the race. They keep doing it when we're not watching them though. But hey, that's racing, ladies and gentlemen. We can only be in one place at one time, unfortunately. But Haley here in 3rd place. So just cruising. He's starting to really close up here on Raylander. Is he going to go for a move, or is he just going to sit in behind here and just continue to use this car in front of him to save a little extra fuel, maybe a little extra tire, maybe able to push an extra lap, get an overcut situation running for him? Hard to say. Again, we don't know the types of strategies that both these drivers are running. Alright, so Haley in 3rd place. EOR is still battling here. He has now found his way around Apex's Larry Birch and chasing down those guys up at the top of the podium here. So EOR is absolutely flying up the field here very early on in the race. And we have Kill Racer coming in with that like and that share. My dude, how are you? Much love. Flying Fox that says Mark. We got Larry Birch in 5th. We got Egon here in 6th place with Superman now up into 7th. So Apex is Superman moving up the field very quickly here. 13th to 7th place very early on for this driver. Stack and Yak losing that position to Superman here now in 8th. JL Salas in 9th place here with Morin now back up into the top 10, chasing that driver down. Walters all the way down into P11 here. So some of these drivers are not having the greatest start here today, but that's all right. Lots of racing left, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke 'em Hold here in 12th place with Indio now in 13th. So we've been seeing some drivers swapping some positions here. Drivers just making little mistakes here, and little mistakes on Alsace Village typically cost you a position here on the racetrack, unfortunately, just because of the nature of this racetrack. A mistake typically will send your car in a place you really don't want it to go, and typically results you having to make an extra pit stop maybe than anticipating. But Sticky Bandit starting to run away from things here just a little bit in the lead. Purple there with a 151.589, so good quick lap here from Sticky Bandit. Raylander still chasing in second place, and that Monster Energy car looking absolutely fantastic there on the racetrack. Let's see if we can get our camera guys to get a good close-up here. Come on, camera crew. Oh, there we go, as he comes down the hill. That was a great shot there by our camera crew, as Haley's coming down the hill with EOR chasing still there. Apex's Larry Birch hasn't let EOR get away from him there, but he is starting to open up a little bit of a gap on our 5th place driver. Egon now up into 6th place, starting to chase the front pack down. A little bit of gap there, about 3-4 seconds here currently on the racetrack, but still in very solid position as he's broken free from the back half of the pack here as well. Apex is Superman, who's now leading that backpack in 7th place here, trying to get away from these drivers as well. Stacking Yak in 8th place, going, hold on, mate, you ain't going anywhere yet, brother. We are not done here, and I'm going to catch you, so I'm a-coming. Salas is also thinking the same thing here, as he has really been closing in on Stacking Yak, and we can see Morin just coming around the corner here, just in behind as well. In 10th place behind him is Walter, so these guys are all very close to each other here still, and we have Indio right here. It looks like he's about to be in a battle with Smoke'em Holt. So Smoke'em Holt already looking at an opportunity to gain a position here off of an early race incident for him on the racetrack. So Sticky Bandit is now in the lead here. He's got a solid lead from 2nd place driver Raylander here. We're looking at about 2.5, 3 seconds, and he is now starting to motor his way up the road, and some nice clean air in that race car. He's got no immediate pressure behind him. Now he can really start to focus on putting in some clean, quick laps here around Alsace Village. And Purple again as he comes around that last timing sector. So let's stay on with our race leader here as he comes around this final sector on the racetrack. Very difficult racing sector this is. This is uphill, it's very twisty, and then you come to the top of the hill, and much like Bathurst, you're coming right back down the hill with a bunch of switchback type corners, and then it comes into the start finish line, short little run, and then bam, you're right into turn 1 again. So not a lot of opportunity for these cars really to get up the top end speed, but definitely a very interesting flowing racetrack here in France. So Sticky Bandit flying around here in P1 as we start lap 6. We have Raylander still holding 2nd place down, and Haley very close behind chasing in 3rd place. Apex's Larry Birch has now moved up into 4th place here. So not sure what happened to driver EOR, as Egon here now is up into 5th place as well. So EOR dropping a couple of spots there down into 6th, and he's now got Superman, Stacking Yak, Jay Salas, Morin, Walters, Indio, and Smoke'em Holt all starting to bear down on him. So not an ideal situation for that driver. And we got Salas coming into pit lane here. You can see he is going to take some tires, probably take some fuel here. Yes, he is, and fix a little bit of damage, as I can see what you guys can't see. So he's definitely suffering from a little bit of damage in that race car, going with a little bit of an alternative strategy probably than he intended to go with here. But we have seen those alternative on the fly strategies work out pretty well for some of the drivers in the field here so far this week. In for a quick like and share, just walking out the door for Din Din. Have a good one, but hey, cheers, Kilty, we love you, brother. Haley now in 2nd place here, so not sure what happened to Raylander, but Haley is now grabbed up into P2 here, and he has a nice little tidy gap on 3rd place driver Raylander. So Raylander must have made a mistake somewhere here, and that's allowed 2nd place Haley to get around and pull a quick gap, and now he has to deal with Apex's Larry Birch, who's starting to close in. Egon here in 5th place, and still trying to chase down that front back, taking a whole lot of curb there, as you can see all the sand coming out of those tires. EOR in 6th place here as well. We've got Apex's Superman chasing him in 7th, so starting to have a little battle brewing here. We're seeing a little bit of an interesting race line from Stack and Yak. They're trying to close up on Superman a little bit, taking an alternative line into that corner. That's kind of the beautiful thing about this racetrack. There's not specifically one line around these corners here. The drivers can make 1 or 2 different variations of these corners work in their favor as well. We have Walters here in 10th place. We've got Indio up into 11th now. Smokum Holt is in 12th, and Sal is down into the back of the field after we just, of course, seen him make that pit stop just a couple minutes ago. So Sticky Bandit, our current race leader. Let's jump on board with him here as we come around a little bit of Alsace Village here. It's a very tough corner here, corner 3 I believe that is, and then we come into this sweeper, and you're going to try and get low in and then use as much of that track on the exit here. You're full on throttle here, really great line there. You didn't quite utilize all that track, but out to the curb here, you want to take a little short line through on throttle as soon as that car hits that little dip. There's a little dip right there. And as soon as your car hits that dip, you get on the throttle, you can get a really good pull through that corner. Again, you just want to tug that apex here. You're down into 3rd gear. You're just kind of coasting through here and then back on the throttle on a late apex ideally. You're going to swing all the way over to the racetrack. This is a full speed corner, I believe it needs BRZs. For some of the bigger cars, it's a slight lift in some situations. And then just up into 5th gear here, ride it around, take it wide into the wall here, and then we're just going to downshift to slow the car down a little bit, and then just pop and rotate all the way down to the 2nd gear. Just going to coast it around, back on the gas, wide exit out on the curb. He's going to move over to the other curb, and you can see him become real tight here, not too tight. There's a bump there that can unsettle your car, and you don't want to be too tight on the right-hand side of the racetrack here. You catch that curb, it can send these cars in the air, and that can completely send you sideways. Not the best of experiences. And then we're coming down here, hard braking into some very twisting corners. It's all about little braking, trail braking, and throttle control to keep the car stable through here. Don't clip those walls, and on the gas. And we're at the start-finish line to start lap 8 here. And that was a great little half lap around Alsace Village with our current race leader, Sticky Bandit. Haley still in 2nd place, and not too far from that driver there in 1st place. You can still see him as he comes up the hill around turn 1. Apex's Larry Birch here in 3rd place, having a very solid race here again in round 2 so far. Egon has now moved up into 4th place with a series of pit stops starting to happen here in the race. So Raylander in pit lane here. We have EOR also in pit lane. We have Stack and Yak in pit lane. We have Morin coming into pit lane. We have Walters also just coming into pit lane here. Let's see what these drivers do. Is Indio going to follow suit with Smokum Holt here? Of course, some of these drivers might be on alternative strategies here due to some earlier racing incidents, self-involved or not. And nope, they're going to stay out. So Salas, I'm assuming, obviously we just seen him pit, so I'm assuming he is also going to stay out. But our current race leader still out on the racetrack, has yet to make a pit stop here, and looking quite solid in 1st place. But he still has some charging drivers here. They haven't stopped yet. They're probably going to see these drivers stop at the same time as our leader here. And maybe fuel can close up that gap a little bit. It's hard to say. Pit strategy can make or break a race for drivers at times. Of course, those pit crews work very hard to get these drivers in and out as quickly as possible, not to lose any unnecessary time while making their pit stops. Egon in 4th place, kind of starting to slowly close these guys in bit by bit here. So Egon's been doing a really great job at pacing those tires and his fuel in this race car, and looking like he's setting himself up for maybe a long run here. We have Superman in 5th place here now, so both the Apex sponsored drivers looking very strong here, one sitting in P3 and one sitting in P5 currently on the racetrack. We have OBR's Raylander, ooh, getting it wrong and way wide out in the grass here. Does a great job to keep it underneath of him, but now he's going to have dirty tires coming into this high-speed corner, and that is going to hurt him keeping these drivers really behind him. These guys are going to be all over him by the end of this run, coming into this very tough technical sector here. And you can see Indio closing right in on him here. Looks like a teammate as well, same liveries. And Smokum Holt is now right in behind, so 3-way battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th place. Let's stick with this here for a minute and see what comes out of it. So we do see Haley now in the lead, so we have seen, oh, and we see Smokum Holt getting it wrong. He caught a little bit of that curb on exit, got into the grass and spun that car sideways, got himself into the wall there. Super unfortunate for Smokum Holt here, just not having the best day today. Unfortunate for him, but he's still out there and he's still giving her everything he's got. He's going to put that car through its paces one way or the other. Stack and Yak here in 10th place. Salas in 11th. We got Walters now in 12th and Morin down in 13th. So again, pit stops now starting to circulate through here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to see these drivers kind of swapping positions a little bit. So with Haley now taking the lead of the race, whether it's pit stops or not here, this is our 3rd race leader here tonight already in our Pro AM1 lobby. We're only 9 of 25 5 laps in, ladies and gentlemen. So a third of the way through this race, we got Joe coming in with that thumbs up. Everybody's just showing some love here tonight. We got Kilty, good day, Corey, Mark Moran, how are you this evening? Lovely, yourself? Excellent. Chat is just handling themselves. We love to see the community absolutely talking amongst themselves and having some good laughs, good times. Love to see it. Welcome in, everybody, of course, to all our returning viewers. We appreciate your returning support and viewage as always. And to our new viewers, welcome in. This is presented by Flat Out Racing North America. This series is sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing. And question mark, IMB Raceware, potential sponsor. Definitely interested in the series, so be interested to see if he opts to step in or maybe wait till next season, but definitely looking. So the legend that gentleman is, making absolutely great sim racing shoes, gloves, shirts, anything sim racing related. This man makes it, and it's just absolutely high quality stuff. So huge shout out to IMB Raceware, also a new sponsor for Flying Fox Racing as well. So just an extra shout out there to IMB, and love to see it. Superman now coming into pit lane here, Raylander. So Larry Birch now in the lead of the race, obviously with Haley stopping in pit lane. So our fourth race leader here now is Apex's Racing. It's Larry Birch here, currently sitting in first place. Indio rounding out our field here in 13th. So to our new race leader here, Larry Birch. Now at about the halfway point, we'll show you guys the situation for all these drivers. But until then, we're just going to have to wait and find out what's going to happen. Quick hello, my guys, I'm back to work. Hello, Winner Circle. Good luck, gentlemen. Hey, appreciate you, Joe. Hashtag top admin right here, my right hand man here, GT45 Gaming. Always appreciate Joe coming in and showing that love. Much love, my guy. Hope you're doing fantastic. So Egon now up into second place. So Sticky Bandit back up into third place here. Now, obviously, the two drivers in front still owe a pit stop here. So I guess the time difference will determine whether or not he is going to grab first place back from those drivers when they do decide to finally make their pit stops here today. Haley in fourth place, EOR in fifth. Stack and Yak having a battle here with what appears to be, who is it? Potentially a blue flag car here. No, Apex is Superman. Apex Superman is stacking Yak in a battle here. My apologies, I didn't recognize the car right away there. I thought it was a Flying Fox car with that orange on it. But stacking Yak losing out to Superman there. So Superman holding sixth place, stacking Yak in seventh. Salas in eighth. We got Walters in ninth. Morin up in the top 10 here. OBR's Raylander in 11th. We got Indio in 12th and Smoke 'em Hold here in 13th. Not having the best of days, but still out there giving her everything he's got. So Larry Birch now coming into pit lane. Egon opting to stay out. So the fifth leader of our race here tonight in our Pro AM1 division is Egon. So much like our Pro Division race, we have seen a handful of lead changes very early on. We're not even halfway through yet. How many more are we going to see in this race? I'm already considering I have my tool belt on. Hey, we hear you, brother. We hear you. Haley in fourth place here with EOR. Stay safe out there, my man, in all that snow. Apex of Superman here in sixth place, Stacking Yak in seventh, JL Salas in eighth place here with Walters in ninth. And you can see these guys are really starting to tighten back up here in this middle stint. Morin in 10th place, a little bit off them guys, but not that far. You can see him just going around the corner there. He has OBR's Raylander in tow. Indio in 12th place, just coming up the hill, so a little bit off these guys, about 8-10 seconds, and Smoke 'em Holt again, just a little bit off him. I'm going to say 15 seconds, judging by the looks of the distance on the radar. But Egon now our current race leader here, as he is coming around about the midway point of our race here, coming into this very, very high speed, right-handed, hard banking, sweeping corner here at Alsace. This corner is a tire eater. You can just hear your tires screaming when you're coming around that corner here at the racetrack, and it is definitely a contributing factor to some of these drivers eating up them tires maybe a little quicker than desired here today. But is Egon now going to pit on this lap? Now he is running the overcut in a sense compared to the rest of the drivers in front of him here. Now when you're trying an overcut, the point of an overcut is to maintain pace. So if he feels like he's off pace, he should pit in right now. If he feels like he can go one more at that pace and maintain it and not make that mistake, then opt to stay out if you've got the fuel. But he is getting to that point where he needs to make that decision, and he is going to come in. So our pit stops are finally going to circulate through here. We see Sticky Bandit just coming down through our winding S's here, coming to the final part of our 11th lap, starting lap 12, and he should take the race lead back from Egon when he comes around turn 1 here. And you can see Egon's probably only just starting to get the fuel in that car at this point. He is going to lose a few positions to some of the drivers coming from him behind. So Sticky Bandit taking the race lead back from Egon as Egon makes his pit stop here. Larry Birch in second place here now, and has done a great job at getting a great overcut on some of the other drivers. Haley down into third place. That is where he started, so not really losing any positions here on the racetrack. He's still having a really solid race here for himself. Egon coming out in fourth place after his pit stop, so overcut doing him some favors here as well in this race today. EOR down into fifth place after those two drivers have made their stops. Apex and Superman still sitting in sixth place here as well, and he has got a little bit of a gap in between them, so a little bit of breathing room from Walters and Salas in behind, and of course he does have a little bit of space between him and EOR in front, so in a good spot. I mean, as a driver in the middle of the race right now where you really just need to focus on running clean, crisp laps, he's in a good spot, sitting in sixth place with no immediate pressure behind, and just really can focus on some clean air in front of him and really put that race car through its paces. Walters, on the other hand, is leading this back half of the pack here in seventh place, and he is not in so much as a comfortable position as Apex and Superman in sixth place is. He has to worry about this. Oh, we had a car going sideways in the background there. We see Salas almost losing on that curve there as well on exit, so great job for him to keep it underneath him. Morin up in the ninth. We have OBR's Raylander in 10th here. We have Stack and Yak, who was the driver that went sideways there, in 11th place. We have Indio in 12th and Smoke'em Holt in 13th, and you can tell these drivers are giving it everything they got when they make when they're coming up with those extremely high speed exits, and just making that mistake on the curb. Super unfortunate, but again, these Group 3 cars are quite low to the ground with these aerodynamic packages, and curbs here at Alsace Village especially really unsettle these race cars. So ideally, don't use them if you don't have to around Alsace Village, is the ultimate solution here in these Group 3 cars. But again, when you're racing and you're racing as hard as these guys are, you know, it happens. It just happens. You need that little extra bit of racetrack, so you risk that curb, and sometimes it rewards you, and sometimes it doesn't. So Egon in fourth place, starting to catch Haley already, as he is just come out of a pit stop last lap there. EOR in fifth place, and he is much like Superman, kind of in no man's land, just clean air to run and no immediate pressure in behind. Superman's still quite comfortable here. There's not a huge gap between him and D. Walters, but again, he can't really see him in the rearview mirror currently on the racetrack, so no immediate pressure for him. D. Walters is starting to close in a little bit here though, so maybe that rearview mirror might start seeing that car coming, and maybe he might start feeling some of that pressure. We'll have to wait and see. Salas in 8th place, and he has a little gaggle of cars here, a little two-man group behind him chasing with the Raylander and Morin, rounding out our top 10 here in the field currently. Stacking Yak in 11th after that spin off the curb there, but managing to keep the car in good condition here and right back on the racetrack, giving it everything he's got. Indio in 12th, and Smoke'em Holt here rounding out our field today. We still have all our drivers on track, and that is absolutely amazing to see. We love to see that, ladies and gentlemen. That is what it is all about. Guys are just coming out here having some fun, putting on a show for the race fans, and that is what we love to see here at Flat Out Racing North America. So Sticky Bandit very, very far ahead of the rest of the field here currently on the racetrack. He has a good sizable 8-9 second gap from our second place driver, Apex's Larry Birch, who's just coming around corner 1 here right now. Haley in behind, just coming into corner 1. You can see Haley starting to get a mirror full of this gentleman right in behind in Egon chasing. So Egon starting to pull into striking distance of S. Haley here in third place. So very close. You can see in the bottom left-hand side of the screen there in the onboard camera. Maybe not because of some of the stuff might be blocking it there, but that car is definitely visible in that digital video feed that the driver has inside the Subaru BRZ. Let's just take a little bit of look here, see if we can get that for you. So this is kind of his rearview mirror, so to speak. So this is what he can see in behind his car. He knows that driver is there. When you know that driver is there, that means you're thinking about that driver. And thinking about that driver too much, or paying too much attention to what that driver is doing, could cost and maybe you could make that mistake. So Haley aware that Egon is there, but let's see if the pressure gets to Haley here as Egon is pressing. EOR in 5th place here, Superman in 6th place, and he is now in a fight with Walters as we're coming around the mid part of our racetrack here. Walters looking for a cutback here. Superman just opting to absolutely take that beautiful exit there and just slotting himself back ahead of EOR. So Superman here looking quite racy here this week as well. And let's see if EOR makes the move here. Superman does leave the door open quite a bit there, and then EOR is going to absolutely just tuck that car on the inside and get the job done. But Superman should have a really good exit coming out of that high line here, so potential opportunity to close back up coming into the hairpin there, and that is a good passing opportunity if you can get into position to make that move coming into this corner, but unable to be close enough to make that move. So back on the chase in behind D. Walters. So Walters moving up to P6. Superman dropping down to 7th place. Now OBR's Raylander chasing Superman down here in 8th place as well. Morin up into 9th place with Salas in 10th. Stackenyak just behind here in 11th place. Indio's in 12th, and you can see him just coming around that hairpin there as well himself, and Smoking Holt just coming around that big old sweeper. So this field isn't separated by a whole ton here, even though we've seen some of these drivers really having some difficulties here early on in the race. They're recovering quite well tonight. Sticky Bandit here in 1st place. You can see that helicopter camera crew working overtime following that race leader here as he's coming around this middle part of the racetrack. And we're going to come around this, I wouldn't say high-speed sweeper, but kind of mid-speed sweeper. You do need to use a little bit of braking just to keep the car on the racetrack and get the right rotation through there. But this one is just a sending around kind of corner here. A little bit of throttle control if you feel like the car is going to push out wide, but other than that, these Subarus stick to the ground quite good. They're definitely well-designed cars for handling, and this is most certainly a handling style racetrack here tonight. And these guys are putting on a show. The fastest lap on the racetrack currently held by Apex's Larry Birch with a 150.297, and that is a blazing fast lap, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. Apex's Larry Birch here in 2nd place, and again the fastest man currently on the racetrack here right now, so he's holding fastest lap point as the race stands currently. So bonus point sitting in his pocket at the moment, but it's definitely not safe there. There's a lot of racing left. Haley here in 3rd place, and Egon is starting to put the pressure on. So slowly but surely Egon has been closing up to this driver. And let's see how this goes down as we come into turn 1, because Egon is there. He is all over the driver in 3rd place with Haley. So Egon looking for a podium position here as we're coming to the beginning of lap 16 of 25. And let's see what happens here as Haley makes a little bit of a wide entry into that corner. Egon just closes up. So Haley goes and makes a defensive move. Egon goes, that's all right, you know what, I'm just going to use your slipstream here for a second. And let's see what we do as we come into the corner. Egon's going to go into that inside line, but he's just backing out, being very patient here as Egon. Great respect by these two drivers as well on the racetrack here. Of course, Haley more than well aware that this driver is trying to make the move on him here. And just great respect shown by these drivers. So some great side-by-side action from 3rd and 4th place drivers, Haley and Egon here currently on the racetrack. And let's just stick with these two for a minute here while they battle this out. Egon is being very patient and strategic here, it looks like, tonight. It looks like it's been paying him dividends here so far at the midway, a little over midway point of this race here. So with that being said, we'll definitely drop some information for the drivers and the fans here very shortly, but we don't want to miss this move here as we haven't seen too much of the action because we're continue just not being at the right place at the right time. So we are going to stick with this to see if Egon does make the move here, but Haley's showing great pace here. He's doing a great job of keeping Egon in behind, and he's not really needing to go into full defensive mode here. He's just doing it by sheer pace. So Egon tucking back in behind Haley here, and they're going to come up the hill. I'm going to move, and now something's going to happen. So Walter's in 6th place. We got Raylander in 7th. We got Superman down in 8th. So Raylander has found his way around Apex of Superman. Superman dropping another position down into 8th place. Morin still in 9th. Stackenyak now moving up into 10th place, and he is on the backside of Mark Morin here. So, going inside, are we going to see a juicy little move coming into the hairpin here? Fantastic racing by these two. And I didn't think that he was going to get in there that quickly, but look at him go on the outside. He's going to look for a cutback here. Morin cuts it off. He read that play clean. He parked that car right in the middle of that cutback line and said, "Nah, not this time, my friend, not this time." So, coming downhill into these four-way S corners, downhill basically, ladies and gentlemen. Morin still leading the charge in 9th place, but he definitely has a fight on his hands with Stackenyak in behind here. And let's see what happens. Morin's going to come into the pits here, so Stackenyak flipping up into 9th place. Sometimes the best strategy when you're battling hard like that, if you're not necessarily wanting to battle, is to do exactly what we just seen Morin do. Go into pit lane, hopefully come out in some nice, fresh, clean air, and then you can make a move for that final stint. So Smoke 'em Hold here in 13th, but the Sticky Bandit still in the race lead here. So a couple drivers potentially on a one-stop strategy, majority of the field on that two-stop strategy. Again, that two-stop strategy proving to be the dominant strategy here for round 2. We have Axel A. Fuentes coming in with that thumbs up over on Facebook. Much love, brother. We appreciate all the support here at Flat Out Racing North America, and of course GT45 Gaming. Apex's Larry Birch here still sitting in 2nd place, chasing Sticky Bandit down. And I mean, he's not really that far away. We got Aaron coming in with that thumbs up as well. Egon here in 3rd place now, so he has found his way up to the podium, obviously with some drivers starting to make their pit stops here. And Sticky Bandit now jumped in the pit lane as well. So EOR coming around here in 4th place. How many positions is Sticky Bandit going to lose jumping in the pit lane here? Walters in 5th. Raylander in 6th, Superman in 7th, Haley in 8th after his stop, Stackenyak in 9th, Indio in 10th place, rounding out the top 10 of this quick Pro AM1 field here today. Morin in 11th, Smoke 'em Holt in 12th, and we lost a driver? Interesting. Maybe we didn't lose a driver, I'm not sure what's going on there, but we don't see a 13th place driver at the moment. So, Larry Birch here in 1st place, currently on the racetrack, and he is coming up behind somebody. I'm assuming it is a potential first car going to be a lap down here tonight, as we have seen a couple of the drivers not have the best of days here. Egon here in 2nd place, chasing down Larry Birch currently. Sticky Bandit comes out in 3rd place after his final stop of the race here, and I guess we haven't really, dropped this for you guys to take a look. So Larry Birch, this is what Larry is running here. He's on his first pit stop here, so clearly, as we can see, he's going to be making a stop very soon here. So he'll be handing over that race lead to, I presume, Egon, who is chasing behind in 2nd place, but tires looking quite done here, and fuel tank looking a little thirsty as well. So I'm assuming we're going to be seeing a pit stop from, of course, our current race leader, Larry Birch here, and we'll have to wait and see. I don't think he's got enough fuel in that tank to go another one. Jeez, didn't know Yak and I had 2 battles. I guess he just gets sucked into the race. Hey, that's true. That is true. You just sometimes forget about those moments that happen on the track. So we do see Larry Birch coming in there, and you can see our 13th place driver there just staving going a lap down. There's our leader having to come into pit lane with only 1% fuel in that car as well, ladies and gentlemen. And Egon is also going to come in here behind, also just on 2% fuel himself. So Sticky Bandit now coming around. Let's see where he comes out in relation to these 2 drivers who are on a little bit of a different strategy than Sticky Bandit. Of course, they're running an overcut style strategy compared to Sticky Bandit, who has led most of the race here tonight and also starting on pole position. So he's just coming around here now. Is he going to come out ahead of these 2 drivers is the bigger question. Yes, and we also see Raylander coming into pit lane there as well. So Larry Birch just coming out in behind Sticky Bandit here. So, ooh, things might be getting a little bit juicy for 1st and 2nd place here tonight. Egon coming out in 3rd place. We got Haley coming around in 4th. OBR Raylander still in pit lane in 5th. Where is EOR going to come out in relation to Raylander? Is he going to be able to hold P5 down, or is he going to lose that position to our 6th place driver, who's now just coming around turn 1 here right at this moment? No, EOR is going to jump ahead of Raylander. Raylander's just going to come out in behind here in 6th place, with Walters now coming in 7th. Superman here coming around in 8th place. Stackenyak in 9th. We've got Morin in 10th. Indio in 11th. Smoke 'em Hold here in 12th. And we definitely don't have a 13th driver on this racetrack currently. Let's go, Superman, says Kilty. Hey, look at all the fans here. We have fans for all sorts of the drivers in the track again here tonight. We love to see that, ladies and gentlemen. We really do appreciate that. I gotta tell you, these drivers absolutely love having people here hanging out, rooting for them while they're racing hard on the racetrack for everybody. So much love to all the viewers out there. You guys are the legends. You guys are the real rock stars, and you're the reason why we are able to continue to do amazing racing events like this week in and week out. We appreciate all your support. Thank you all so much. Absolute legends, all the viewers out there watching, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, whether it's live or later down the road at your own convenience. Nonetheless, we love you. We absolutely appreciate your support, and we hope to see you keep coming back for more racing action here at Flat Out Racing North America. Again, sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing, ladies and gentlemen. And I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. All our graphics we see on the stream, of course, provided by High Pre Graphics, ladies and gentlemen. So, giving all those shout-outs where the shout-outs are needed. It takes an absolute huge team to make something like this happen, and what a great team here we have at Flat Out Racing North America, and it's been showing on the racetrack so far very early on here in the season. Stacking Yak in 8th place, Superman in 9th, Morin rounding out our top 10 here. We got Indio in 11th, Smoke and Bolt in 12th, so we definitely lost a driver due to whatever issue it is. So we've seen in every race so far this week as well, one driver having a full mechanical issue with their race car and having to put that race car in behind the wall. So interesting, the car is already starting to feel a little bit of the wear and tear in some of the hard racing here around this series this year. So the crew is going to have some work for that driver to get that car back and ready for next week's race at Blue Moon Infield A. So Larry Birch trying to chase Sticky Bandit down, not too far away, but not that close at the same time. Egon here in 3rd place, trying to chase the 2 first and second place guys down so he can try and better this podium position. We have Haley here trying to chase Egon down to get back into that podium position where he started the race here today in 3rd. We have EOR in 5th place from Flying Fox Racing, having a fantastic day for himself here as well. OBR Raylander in 6th place, Walters in 7th, Stack and Yak coming around here in 8th place, and we're seeing a little bit of separation from some of these drivers here now. Superman in 9th, Morin in 10th. Morin starting to have Indio closing in on him here as well, and Smoke and Hold here in 12th place. So again, losing one of our competitors here tonight due to mechanical failure in that race car, but hey, you know, that's the nature of the beast when we race, ladies and gentlemen. Cars break down. They are just equipment after all. So Sticky Bandit coming around lap 21. Let's jump on board with our race leader and enjoy this lap around Alsace Village with Sticky Bandit, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely incredible lap there by our current race leader, Sticky Bandit, ladies and gentlemen, Team THG, and Larry Birch from Apex Racing here, really starting to put the squeeze on our first place driver here. So 22 of 25 laps, underway here. We have 3.5 laps remaining left of this race, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what can we say? We have a battle brewing for first place here for sure. It does appear to be that way anyways. Egon in third place, just not able to keep pace on these drivers, but he is in a very comfy spot here, holding that last podium position. He has a massive gap on fourth place driver Haley here currently on the racetrack. EOR in fifth place here, with OBR Raylander in 6th. So Walter's down in the 7th place here. Maybe made a little bit of a mistake somewhere along the way. Stacking Yak up in the 8th place here as well, with Morin in 9th, and Apex the Superman here rounding out the top 10. And you can see he is right on the backside of Morin there, with Indio chasing him. So a little potential battle happening between 9th, 10th, and 11th place here before the end of this race as well. And of course, Smoke 'em Holt here rounding out our field is of course one driver having to retire the race car here today due to whatever mechanical failure it was that caused it to go into, of course, behind the wall. So super unfortunate here for that driver today. But again, ladies and gentlemen, 2 drop rounds available for these drivers in the series. So at the end of the season, the officials and the staff here at Flat Out Racing North America will take everybody's 2 worst rounds and take those out of the standings, and then when all that's said and done, they will be able to determine who our champions of each division are, and of course our top 3 podium finishers of each division at the end of the season as well. But there is a twist for these Pro-Am divisions. Pro-Am 1 and Pro-Am 2 are racing in their own lobby for a 10-week series, but at the end of the season they will have a one final race showdown to see who is crowned Pro-Am total champion, and will get awarded, of course, that amazing prize pool from GTR Simulators and Apex Racing here, our proud sponsors in this series. And it is, of course, GTR Sim Series 2022, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been fantastic so far early on in the season. Larry Birch is working hard to try and catch Sticky Bandit, and Sticky Bandit is working even harder to keep Larry Birch in behind, as we have 2.5 laps remaining. Egon in 3rd place with Haley in 4th. We have EOR in 5th. OBR's Raylander in 6th place, with Walters in 7th. We got Stack and Yak here in 8th. Morin in 9th. Indio has grabbed 10th from Superman here. Superman now up in 11th, and Smoke 'em Holt into 12th place. So Sticky Bandit is doing everything he can to keep that green Apex car absolutely behind him. This track can be tricky to get consistent times around. Absolutely, Chris Reeves coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, my man. But Sticky Bandit and Larry Birch starting to come in on, I believe it's Smoke 'em Holt here, as they're coming around this hairpin on lap 23 here. So potentially going to play a factor in this battle for the lead here. But Larry Birch losing a little bit of the pace on Sticky Bandit here. So I'm not sure if Sticky Bandit has just said, you're too close, buddy, I got to lose you a little bit, or if Larry Birch is just letting him run his car out a little bit, and he's going to be like, yeah, watch what I got for you at the end of the race, my friend. So definitely some different strategies, maybe a little bit of mind playing going on here between these 2 drivers silently. But ooh, Larry Birch almost getting that wall there. That could have been catastrophic for his charge to the lead. And Sticky Bandit is going to come around on lap 24 here in that lead, but Larry Birch very close behind chasing. Egon here in 3rd place as well, and looking very strong as we are approaching the end of this race, ladies and gentlemen. Man, these races just go by so quickly. There's just so much going on all the time. It's so sad, isn't it? I know. But hey, we got one more for you, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night with our Pro-Am 2 lobby, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And same deal as it has been all week, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if we can get some of these guys in for some live podium interviews at the end of the race, and let you guys tell you guys how they feel the race went for them this past Sunday here. So OBR Raylander having a battle with Walters. Walters got the better run coming out of turn 1 there, so he holds that position off of Raylander. But EOR has a handful with that 6th place driver in behind here right now. And we're just going to start flipping through the field a little bit quicker here, make sure we don't have any immediate battles. And Smoke 'em Holt in pit lane there, so maybe a little splash of fuel, or he has just pulled it into the pits to not get involved with this battle for the lead. Potentially, it's hard to say. We didn't see what happened. So we do have Sticky Bandit coming around, and we're going to have one more lap to see if Larry Birch has enough in that BRZ behind our leader to get that position from him here. Sticky Bandit has been doing a great job at keeping just far enough ahead of Larry Birch here. He hasn't been able to make a push yet, but it's all on the line here. It's all or nothing at this point for these two drivers. If Larry Birch wants first place, he's got one lap remaining to do it. So let's stick with it and let's see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. And ooh, taking a really wide exit there again, and that's costing him time compared to the exit that the leader, Sticky Bandit, is getting coming out of that corner. So already on the back foot slightly coming into turn one here is Larry Birch, as he's got to try and close up here in the next few corners if he wants to really have a legitimate chance at getting around Sticky Bandit here for this race lead. So here we go. It's all cracking down here, ladies and gentlemen. Corner by corner, we're getting very close to waving that checkered flag here, and Sticky Bandit has been doing a fantastic job at keeping that apex Larry Birch just in behind him here. I'm sure that he's feeling that pressure, as Larry has been there for the majority of about 6 laps now, and it's been a good push between these two drivers. They're really testing each other's limits out here currently on the racetrack, and I think this is going to be a very spirited battle between these two drivers all season long, no matter where it is that they're sitting in the field. But Sticky Bandit now has a nice sizable gap here, so he's just got to keep it all together in the last half of this racetrack here now, and it's all his for the taking, ladies and gentlemen. Larry Birch pushing, doing everything he can to try and close that gap up, but he just hasn't been able to get close enough to make something happen here on our leader, and our leader is on better tires, as you guys can see on the screen here in front of us. So it's going to be very hard for Larry Birch to make that move unless Sticky Bandit makes some form of mistake to give him the opportunity. I mean, he is running out of racetrack here. We have 4 corners remaining with this King 5, I guess. 4 corners now remaining, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming downhill into this quadruple S corner. 3 to go. 2 to go, ladies and gentlemen. 1 corner to go, and it is going to be THG Sticky Bandit bringing home the win here in round 2 at Alsace Village. Apex is Larry Birch very close behind in second place. Egon is coming through this final chicane sector here right now as well, and he had a great run for himself here tonight, coming in 3rd place as well. So the podium set here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. THG Sticky Bandit in 1st place, Larry Birch in 2nd, Egon in 3rd, and OBR Raylander and EOR having a cracking fight here for this final position. Let's see who's going to get it. Raylander does get that inside line. Is there going to be a cutback here coming through the corner? There is, and oh, Raylander goes deep, and he's not going to be able to hold a position. EOR is going to take 4th place from OBR's Raylander. Great stuff by those two drivers. 5th place for Raylander. We got Walters and Haley coming across the line here as well. 6th and 7th for Haley. We have Stack and Yak coming around, and he is going to hold down that 8th place position here as he comes around this racetrack. He has a nice tidy little gap to the guys in behind, so he's just got to bring this car home. Ooh, some great action as we've seen here coming to our checkered flag here tonight at Alsace Village for our Pro AM1 guys. And boy, oh boy, have we seen 4 absolutely amazing races here so far this week from Flat Out Racing North America. Massive shout out to our drivers on track. These boys and girls have been putting on an absolute amazing show for everybody to see here so far this season. Indio is going to come around and take 9th place finish here. Morin is going to round out that top 10 in the field here today. Superman is going to come around, take 11th place, and that is going to put Smoke'em Holt here in 12th place. And of course, our driver that had to retire the car finishing here final and foremost in 13th position. So, whew, wow, what a race. Good job to all our drivers there. So what we're going to do here now, ladies and gentlemen, is I am going to go and check the driver's chat. We're going to see if anybody's available for some live interviews. We're going to flip us over to the podium screen here, and then we'll talk to whoever's available and check to see, make sure we're not missing any write-ups from any of the drivers that aren't available. So give me just one moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with everybody. right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have all three of our podium finishers here, and they're going to talk to you guys and gals out here in Viewerland tonight, and they're going to talk to us about how their races went. As we can all see, it was an absolutely crazy, eventful race for several drivers. Great battles throughout the race, especially up front. There was some great battling for that race lead for the majority of the race, and the mid-pack battling, as always, week in and week out, is just fantastic. Great side-by-side action. We see some great spins. We see some great cars getting visiting our friend Barry R. But hey, that's racing, and it happens, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers are going to come back next week, and it's going to be a whole different ballgame at Blue Moon Infield A. So, with that being said, we're going to move to our third place driver, Egon. And first podium finish for Egon here at Flat Out Racing North America. Had an absolutely fantastic drive as well, ladies and gentlemen, going on a one-stop strategy and working out very well for him, finding his way into the podium. So congratulations, my man. Talk us through your race.
Thank you, Ghost. Yeah, it was a good race, and as you mentioned really well, I went for the long run, and really long run. So saving tires and saving fuel. Looking back now, I could even go in a different strategy and maybe push a little more, especially on the second stint, as I still had tires and fuel, and I could have pushed a little bit. But Larry and Sticky Bandit just did an amazing job up front, and I wouldn't catch up with them, not even in a good day. Um, if I got a little closer and could maybe slipstream a little bit, that would have helped me. But at the end of the day, I stuck to my strategy. I had a strategy already set up, which is really going for the long run, really saving tires and fuel, and it kind of paid off. I had a bad qualifier. I started, I guess, 11th, so I had a long way to go to the front, but I really enjoy the race. It was an awesome race.
And absolutely, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The man himself just said it, moving up 7 positions here in the race with that one-stop strategy. I believe he was the only driver to go with that one-stop strategy as well here tonight, and it did pay big dividends here for this driver with his first podium finish in the series, only round two as
Yeah.
well. So, I mean,
Yep.
lots of confidence moving forward. Obviously, there's lots of motivation. I mean, I don't need to. I keep asking the drivers
Yeah.
where your motivation is set. I mean,
Yeah.
the motivation is set for these amazing prize pool that is up for grabs here. But these drivers are having fun on the racetrack as well. And ladies and gentlemen, what you don't realize is a lot of these drivers outside of what we see on the broadcast spend a lot of time in behind the scenes on track with each other, hanging out with each other, making fun of each other, trash talking with each other, and helping each other on the racetrack. And that is ultimately why we see such great battling on the racetrack, because these guys are a team. They're a unit. Each division is like a little family group, and they work on helping each other get better and better as the season progresses. So, a great race from you. I mean, great
Yeah.
strategy. You had a beautiful cushion too. I mean, being on the podium
Thank
position when
you.
you're getting late in the race, you're looking up at that timing screen. You know you've got 10, 11 seconds from the top two guys. They've got pretty good pace, so okay, you know what? Unless one of them makes a mistake, I got to start another position. I don't need to over push my car. And then you look behind you, you've got
Yep.
a good solid 15-second gap in behind. So,
Yep. Yep.
pretty simple as
And
just
that's what I tried. Yeah, I tried to really keep those guys. Kept an eye on the guys in the back. And as you said, it's all about keeping yourself on your strategy, number one, and being consistent. So saving tires, saving fuel is important, but I want to catch up with these guys in the front next time. So thank you, Ghost. And by the way, I'd like to thank the sponsors as well: GTR Simulator, Apex Racing, and of course my wife Giselle. Love you, querida.
hey, look at that. See, we love to hear
Thank
that.
you, Ghost.
We love seeing the driver shout out the family behind the scenes, because the family sacrifice, their time with mom, with dad, or mom even, and for them to come and sim race and of course hang out with all the amazing fans. So, massive shout outs there, my dude. And Blue Moon Infield next
Thank
week.
you.
How you feeling?
Oh, I love that track too. So here's another challenge, a totally different challenge. A lot of slipstreaming will be used on that race. So strategy is critical. Right choice of tires and right choice of fuel and how to manage it is key. So I can't wait for next week or this Sunday. It's going to be an amazing race.
Absolutely. And again, congratulations on your first podium here this season, and hopefully many more for you, my man.
Thank you, Ghost. Thank you. Thank
All
you very
right.
much. And to
Cheers.
GT45.
Hey, cheers. We appreciate all the support as well. I love these guys. Egon is an OG here at the GT45 Gaming community too, so it's always nice to be able to talk to some of our OGs here when we see him hit the podium as well. It makes GT45 smile a little bit. Not gonna lie.
That's cool.
All
I
right,
love
so
it.
we are going to move to our second place finisher here, Apex Racing Larry Birch. Now, this gentleman has some pretty good pace here today. I believe he held fastest lap on the racetrack, unless it got taken near the end of the race there. Almost breaking into the 49s, actually, it was the last one that we saw. But these guys put on so much action, we weren't really paying attention to that fastest lap today. But really great race from you here today. Now, was a two-stop strategy kind of always the strategy for you coming into the race here today?
Yeah, I was always gonna go with a two-strop, super short pit lanes in France there, and it just really didn't hurt your chances. I didn't think that going slow or saving tires and didn't seem to make too much sense for me.
And again, we've seen that through most of the divisions here throughout the weekend as well. The two stop definitely seemed to be the dominant strategy here. Some of the cars, obviously, the one stop being a little bit more difficult to save the fuel. You need to maintain the pace. But the Subaru is in my opinion, out of the cars that were being raced here this week, out of all the divisions, the best suited car for this racetrack. And I mean, how does it feel going around here?
Oh yeah, no, we did a lot of practice this week. Shout out to all the Apex boys that are in the higher divisions. They're in, you know, ostensibly faster cars, but I describe this track as a Hot Wheel track, and the BRZ is a Hot Wheel car, and it really just hugs all those corners, and there's not too many killer straightaways, so the BRZ can really shine around it.
And absolutely, and I mean, it was a great race from you. Now, when you came out of pit lane for that last and final stop, you seen you were only about what 2.5 seconds behind Sticky Bandit for the race lead. Was at that moment you figured maybe if I push a little bit extra, I can catch up to this guy and have a shot at first place? What were you thinking when you came out of pit lane for that final time and you came right out in behind the race leader?
Well, I had a monster second stint. I was putting in purple after purple laps and was watching that Delta go down. And when I came out and I was only 2 seconds behind him, I thought for sure like my pace on softs would be the same or better. And hats off to Sticky. He dug deep and reached out a little extra, and I guess he started putting in his best laps because I could not close it. It had a couple corners I'd catch him, a couple corners I'd lose him, and the end of the lap it seemed to be the same delta every time. It was a great race. He put on a show.
Absolutely, and we did see very early on in the race it was quite chaotic for several of the drivers. Some of the guys just racing hard, and curbs seem to be the telltale story this week for a lot of the drivers. Having incidents on the racetrack, curbs have been absolutely destroying these cars here in Alsace Village. What's your take on the curb situation here at Alsace Village? I mean, clearly they're not very user friendly. Is it just, do you think, because these cars are so low to the ground?
Yeah, no, the curbs are, if you really need to push, you can try and use them. If you hit it right, they'll help, but it's not very good odds. I tried to stay away from them as long as I could, and kept around the track the whole race, which is the only reason I was even in contention.
Well, I mean, consistency is always an important part of racing, and of course, keeping the race car, scratch free and dent free and damage free always helps a little bit too as well. But nonetheless, another great race from you. So two podiums in a row here to start this season for you. How are you feeling as you're moving into round three at Blue Moon Speedway?
I'm feeling pretty good. Blue Moon, I'm not feeling so good about. If I had to pencil my drop race, it'd probably be that one, but we'll see. I haven't really got out in practice yet, so maybe I'll like it more. But yeah, great start to the season for sure. First time I really had success in a league so far, so I am enjoying it, and I'm hoping it continues, and I'm hoping I can catch up to Sticky one of these races.
Absolutely, and I mean, it is definitely turning out to be you two battling it out quite a bit here throughout the season. I think no matter where it is where you guys are sitting in the grid or in the field, I think you two are going to be very familiar with each other by the end of this season, as clearly you're both very equally paced drivers here in the division as well. And of course, your shout out to my man.
Yeah, well, shout outs first to, of course, all my Apex boys. All the practice hobbies really have helped over the last year I've been with them. I've just gotten better and better, more consistent, learning. Shout out to GTR for sponsoring, obviously, and then Ghosty with the best calls in the business, and then FOR Racing.
Hey, we appreciate you. I don't know if they're the best calls in the business, but look out, commentator world. GT45 Gaming is definitely out there. We appreciate you for sure. And again, congratulations, great race. I'm sure that the one of the sponsors here, the Apex boys, are in the clubhouse cheering and can't wait to start pouring champagne all over your head when you get to the clubhouse there. So, good job, man, and can't wait to see what you got for us in round 3.
All right, thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the man who seems to be the guy to beat here in Pro AM1 lobby is THG's Sticky Bandit. Back-to-back podium finishes for this gentleman. I believe it is back-to-back wins for this gentleman as well, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yes, I have had back-to-back wins, luckily.
Absolutely. So my
These
memory
guys
is
are a
still
fast
fairly
field.
decent then. It gets a little confusing when you're doing 5 divisions to keep it all straight in your head sometimes. But again, just another great showing. Sitting on pole position, so banking an extra point in pocket as well for that pole position. I mean, that's always got to be a good feeling when you're starting a race, knowing that you've already banked at least 1 point. Mindset coming into this race today. Now, you had a chance to race against your division. Obviously, in round 1 at Watkins Glen, you got a little bit of a feel for the drivers on track, the racecraft from these drivers on track. What was your mindset coming into tonight's race after, getting that feel for your competition?
Well, I definitely knew it's a fast field. Shout out to Raylander there. I only pinched pole by 5/1000ths of a second. That was tight. And then also Larry Birch just absolutely in my mirrors from like lap 19 out of the pits to the finish, just pressing me. It was stressful, sweaty race to the end.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's the toughest position to be in. I mean, every race car driver loves to be winning the race. But the only problem is you don't actually win that race until you cross that start finish line and you get that checkered flag first. So in the meantime, you have got a lot going on in that race car. You are, of course, trying to focus on what you've got in front of you. You're not missing your braking points, not missing your turn-ins, making sure you're trying to get your optimal line through the corners. But you're also kind of starting to look in behind you as well. You're checking those mirrors. Maybe you're taking a quick little peek over at the side mirror. Maybe you're looking down at that TV camera in the car. And, at
Oh
that
yeah.
moment is when you miss a braking point by 10 meters and you can make that vital mistake. So how do you handle all of that when you're in such a heated battle for so many laps around the racetrack?
Oh, I mean, it was really tough. Like I said, I came around the lap, and Larry Birch came out of the pits, and he was right behind me, absolutely filling my mirrors. And of course, I just was looking at the time gap, and as we went around lap after lap, he was slowly melting it away, filling my mirrors even bigger. And at one point, I thought he was definitely going to get by me. I was pushing hard, getting my best laps of the race, and I still couldn't lose him. So hats off to Apex Larry Birch.
Well, I mean,
Absolute
at
great
the end of
race.
the day, based off of my perspective, you just had a little more tire than he had underneath that race car by the end of the race, and I think that really ultimately probably made the difference for the two of you because the fuel was almost identical. So yeah, it just seemed like out of that group, you just with him pushing, trying to catch you, wore out his tires a little bit more, and you just being able to maintain your own pace that you've been running all race long was enough to really make that difference. And I think that it was probably your deciding factor for the race win here today, because I think if he had equal tire, I think we had ourselves a drag race to the start finish line here in round 2 today between you two, because both very equally paced drivers here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one with the gold name here on the podium standings. So massive congratulations! 26 points here for you tonight to stack on to what I believe it was
Thank you.
26 points from last week as well. So great start to the season. So now, what's your mindset as we move into the mid part of the season? From about rounds 3 to 6, 7, it does change a racer's mindset. You've had a chance to race against your field a couple times. Who you're comfortable being right side by side with, and maybe that some drivers you're not quite comfortable around with, so you give a little extra room. So now, what's your mindset? Is it still the same as it is the first 2 rounds of the season, or do you go in with a little bit of a different mindset now as we move into the middle part of our season here?
Well, I'm still gonna go in with the same mindset because I know the field is super fast. I gotta practice hard and just try and do my best and stay with these guys.
Well, so far proving to be worthy. So far, the guys are saying much of the same thing about you. I got to get faster to catch up with Bandit here. So, I mean, huge congratulations. I mean, what else can we say? You had a fantastic race. It was very consistent. Consistency does pay off in endurance racing, even if it's just a 45-minute race. Yeah, still an endurance race, and it definitely pays off. Strategy also playing a big factor here. Larry's strategy working out very well for him here today, making big overcuts, big moves in pit lane today, and he and of course putting the pressure on you. But at the end of the day, you are our round 2 champion here at Alsace for Pro AM1 division. So massive shout out, and you're the one with the target on your back coming into round 3. How do you feel about Blue Moon Infield A?
To be honest, I haven't even seen or checked out the track yet. I was thinking about getting the car in the hauler and getting it over there pretty quick in the next couple days and having a look, but I'm going pretty cold on that one at the moment, so I don't know. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, that's what makes racing exciting. That's what makes going to different tracks in different countries each week exciting, because one driver might excel at one track and maybe not have so much love towards another track, and that's what always keeps the field nice and tight and close as we get through our championship season. But again, huge congratulations and shout outs, my man.
Oh yeah, thank you. But yeah, I want to say thanks to all the fans watching. Without their support, wouldn't be here for sure. Thanks, Ghost45 for all the awesome commentary, all the hard work you put in. Also, Apex Racing, GTR Simulators, thanks for sponsoring Flat Out Racing North America. And definitely a special thanks to my wife. Without all her support, I wouldn't be able to race with all you guys. So thanks, Aaron.
All right, well, there we go. I mean, again, you know, the drivers are really showing the love for the family, and that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. As a community of sim racers, we're a big, giant family of, I mean, a worldwide community. We're just one big, giant family. We race as one. You guys see it at the top of the screen week in and week out, and that's exactly the way it is here. But, I mean, again, the families behind the sim racers are also a part of this community. They're also a part of the family, so we love to see the drivers shout out their wives and their families and their kids. Huge shout outs, my man. Much respect to you, and of course the rest of the field here tonight. And thanks you for all three of you guys for taking some extra time out of your week to come in and do some interviews a couple days after the race. We really do appreciate it. I know the fans absolutely love hearing what you guys have to say. So cheers on a successful round 2 for everybody in the field, and I can't wait to see what you guys are going to put on screen for us next weekend at Blue Moon Infield, eh?
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, and you guys are good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have it. And again, you know, it doesn't matter what division we seem to be broadcasting or talking to. I mean, these guys just talk with so much class and dignity and professionalism and respect. And, you know, as GT45 Gaming, as the broadcaster, I really do appreciate all the kind words that all the drivers always send this way. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's thanks to the viewers, the fans, the sponsors, the team in behind the scenes here at Flat Out Racing North America that keep this thing going week in and week out. Our stewards, who have to do the hard job, who have to do the dirty business and break bad news to some drivers, to all the guys that make the stream look the way it is. High Pre Graphics, Apex Racing coming in with prizes, GTR Simulator coming with prizes and sponsoring series and showing that support, showing the love to the sim racing community. And that's what it's all about. High Pre coming in with the graphics. I don't know if I mentioned them. You know, we appreciate it, but I mean, I can't do what I do without all those things I just talked about. And most importantly, we can't do it without our drivers on track absolutely putting on a show for us week in and week out. So hats off to our drivers, most importantly, and to our viewers. Thank you so much for being here again tonight. 4 nights in a row, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, whew, we have got some great racing coming for you all year long. Round 2 from our Pro Am 2 lobby will take place at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. That will be our final broadcast from Round 2 for Flat Out Racing North America. I hope to see everybody return for that broadcast. If not, it will be available on the pages for your viewing pleasure at your own time and convenience, of course, after the live broadcast is done. Thank you, everyone, on behalf of GT45 Gaming, Flat Out Racing North America, GTR Simulators, Apex Racing, and High Pre Graphics. We absolutely love every single one of you out there. And most importantly, folks, stay winning.